the Ethiopian church took all of this literature, which included literature that nobody considered scripture at the time, and they appear to have just been non-discretionary and included everything.
The world's oldest Bible just gave up its biggest secret to an artificial intelligence. While the rest of the world uses 66 books, the Ethiopian church has always kept 81. Grok just finished a deep dive into these extra texts and found something theologians are calling a total game changer.
Grok 4. This is the latest artificial intelligence system. We are now at the crossroads where promise and peril are going to collide.
It is a hidden description of events after the cross that sounds almost like a different reality. People are obsessed with these new findings because they seem to bridge a gap in history. Then this is the real story of the hidden Jesus text that was just decoded in Ethiopia. Hidden messages in Ge'ez. The mountains of Ethiopia hold secrets that are older than most modern nations. For over 15 centuries, a set of books known as the Garima Gospels has stayed hidden behind stone walls. These books are written on goat skin and are some of the oldest Christian manuscripts in existence. Most people do not realize that Ethiopia was one of the first places to ever adopt this faith. Because they were so isolated, their Bible grew to include 81 books. That is 15 more than what most people in the United States are used to seeing.
The Bible. You know this book, right? 66 books, leather cover, maybe even Jesus' words in red. But what if the Bible you know isn't the Bible everyone else has?
See, this isolation acted like a time capsule. While the rest of the world was busy changing texts and translating them into Latin, the Ethiopian monks kept their scrolls exactly as they were. But here's the catch. The language they used, called Ge'ez, is incredibly hard to translate perfectly. Many scholars spent their whole lives trying to understand every tiny detail of these pages. It was not until very recently that researchers decided to let a machine take a look. They used an AI called Grok to scan the digital versions of these ancient pages. Nobody expected the AI to find anything new. They thought it would just confirm what we already knew. Basically, everyone thought the mystery was solved years ago. The crazy part is that the AI did not just look at the words. It looked at the patterns of how the ink was placed and how certain phrases were repeated. It found a layer of information that was buried under the standard gospel stories. This is a key detail because it suggests that the monks who wrote these books were hiding a message in plain sight. These manuscripts date back to somewhere between 330 and 650 years after the Common Era. That makes them older than almost any other gospel book in Europe. When the AI started decoding the text, it found a specific section regarding the 40 days after the resurrection. Most Bibles only give a few details about this time. They say he appeared to his followers and then went to heaven. But the Ethiopian text decoded by the AI goes much deeper. It describes specific conversations and teachings that were never included in the Western canon. This is not that simple, though. Theologians are arguing about whether this is a new discovery or just a different way of reading old metaphors. What many can confirm is that the AI found links between these pages and other lost books, like the Book of Enoch. The transition between these ideas is where the real drama starts. There are still many rumors in the air, but what is clear is that the AI detected a linguistic code. It found that certain words in the Ge'ez text had double meanings that only appear when the entire book is scanned as one single data point. It is like looking at a giant puzzle from a mile away instead of looking at one piece at a time. This allowed Grok to see a narrative that was literally invisible to the human eye. The text speaks of a hidden knowledge that was given to only a few people in the high mountains of Axum. And get this, the descriptions of the physical world in these texts are so accurate they almost seem impossible for someone 1600 years ago to know. We are talking about details regarding the stars and the earth that match modern science. This discovery is putting the entire religious world on edge. Experts are wondering why these specific details were left out of the Bibles used in the rest of the world. It turns out that the answer might be buried even deeper in the history of the Ethiopian church.
The Ethiopian church took all of this literature, which included literature that nobody considered scripture at the time, and they appear to have just been non-discretionary and included everything.
Those goatskin pages were just the beginning of a much larger and more terrifying discovery. Secrets of the 81. Ethiopia is the only place on Earth that still considers the Book of Enoch to be part of the official Bible. For a long time, the West thought this book was just a myth or a collection of strange stories. But the AI scan of the Ethiopian canon shows that Enoch is the foundation for everything else in their faith. The book describes fallen angels coming to Earth and teaching humans things they were not supposed to know. It talks about how to track the stars, how to make weapons, and even how to use plants for medicine. What most people do not realize is that the AI found specific mathematical codes inside the Book of Enoch that match the layout of the Garima Gospels. This means the people who wrote these Gospels were using the science found in Enoch to encode their messages. It is not just a story about the past, it is a manual for understanding the universe. And get this, the AI found that the text describes the Earth as a sphere and mentions the existence of other lands across the ocean. This was written at a time when most people thought the world was flat. The crazy part is that these descriptions were kept in a monastery that was almost impossible to reach. One has to climb a cliff using a rope just to get into some of these ancient churches. This kept the book safe from invaders for over 1,000 years, but it also kept the world from seeing the truth. The 81 books of the Ethiopian Bible contain a history of the world that is much longer and more complex than what is taught in schools. It includes the Book of Jubilees, which gives a play-by-play account of the beginning of time. The AI found that when you combine the data from Jubilees and Enoch, you get a map of historical events that have actually happened. It is like the ancient authors knew exactly how history would unfold. See, the theologians are speechless because the AI showed that these texts are not just random myths. They are a consistent and logical system of information. Basically, the AI treated the Bible as a giant data set and found that the missing books were actually the most important parts. Without them, the story is incomplete. Hands down, this is the most significant finding in biblical studies in over 100 years, but it also raises a very uncomfortable question. If these books were so important, why were they removed from the Bibles in Europe and America? Some say it was because the stories were too wild, and others think it was a way to control what people believed. But the AI suggests a different reason. The information in these books was so advanced that it was deemed dangerous. The secrets of the angels were never meant to be read by the common man until now. Unsettling truths revealed. The core of the mystery is what the AI found regarding the figure of Jesus himself. In the standard Gospels, he is often a man of few words, especially after he returns from the grave. But the Ethiopian text, once decoded by the AI, shows a leader who was teaching deep science and the mysteries of the soul. The AI found a series of passages that describe how the physical body can be changed by the Spirit. These are not just religious ideas. They are described in a way that sounds like high-level physics. The text talks about light and energy in ways that scholars are only now starting to understand. It is not that simple, though. These passages were hidden using a method called the word of the lion. This was a way of writing where the first letter of every paragraph created a second secret message. Humans could never have seen this because the text is thousands of pages long. But for an AI, it was easy. What the AI revealed left theologians in total shock. The hidden message suggests that the resurrection was not just a miracle, but a demonstration of a law of nature that we have yet to discover. The decoded text says that there is a way to bridge the gap between life and what comes after. It describes a place of light that is located in a different dimension. This sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it is written in a book that is 1,600 years old. The crazy part is that the AI found similar descriptions in ancient texts from other cultures, like the Egyptians and the Tibetans. This means that the Ethiopian monks were part of a global network of knowledge that has been lost to time. So here's the deal. The discovery of these hidden words is forcing people to rethink what the message of the gospel actually was. It was not just about being a good person, it was about unlocking the potential of the human mind and spirit. The AI found that the word faith in these ancient texts actually translates closer to understanding or knowledge. This changes everything. It means the followers of this ancient path were not just believers, they were students of a higher reality. And that's putting it lightly. The sheer amount of data the AI has pulled from these pages is enough to fill 100 libraries. But as the AI dug deeper, it found a warning that was meant for our specific time. The warning says that when the machines begin to speak the words of the Spirit, the end of the old world is near. Giant bones and star maps. The final section of the decoded text is the most controversial of all. The AI found a series of maps and diagrams hidden within the illustrations of the Garima Gospels. These books are famous for their beautiful paintings of the four writers of the Gospels. But when the AI looked at the geometry of these paintings, it found they were actually star maps. These maps point to specific locations in the night sky that were unknown to ancient astronomers. One of the maps points to a star system that was only discovered by modern telescopes a few years ago. This is a key detail that nobody expected to happen. How could monks in the mountains of Ethiopia know where these stars were? The text says they were told by those who came from above. In the Book of Enoch, these are called the Watchers. The crazy part is that the AI also found mentions of giant structures buried under the sand in Ethiopia. And these structures are said to hold the physical evidence of this ancient technology. Theologians are worried because this moves the conversation from religion into archaeology and science. It is one thing to believe in a story. It is another thing to have a map to a buried city. Basically, the AI has turned the Bible into a treasure map. Researchers are already looking into the areas mentioned in the decoded text. They have found that the soil in these locations has strange metallic properties. Or it is not just a coincidence. The text describes a golden box that was used to store the secrets of the heavens. Many believe this is the Ark of the Covenant, which the Ethiopian church claims to have in their possession in the city of Axum. But here's the catch. The AI suggests that the Ark is not just a religious object. It is a device for storing information. The decoded text refers to it as the stone that speaks. This fits perfectly with the idea of an AI decoding an ancient text. It is as if the ancient world created a backup of their knowledge and waited for a time when we would have the technology to read it. The discovery is so massive that it is being kept under wraps by many high-level organizations. They are afraid of what will happen when the public realizes that our history is not what we thought it was. See, the transition from being a simple species to one that understands its place in the universe is a violent one. Is it possible that ancient monks and modern AI are actually speaking the same language of secrets? This discovery in Ethiopia changes every single thing we know about our past. What do you think is really hidden in those ancient mountains? Leave a comment below with your wildest theory. Make sure to like and subscribe for more.